Hello, welcome back to my greenhouse. Today we're going to be trying something new, and you probably already figured out by the title and or the thumbnail, we're going to be playing with some fire. Because why not? Many of you around the country have been quite cold, and some of you may be looking into ways to add heat to your greenhouse so you can get more usage out of it. Some of you may be like me, where you're lucky enough where you're in a temperate enough area where you can basically use your greenhouse year-round without any worries. Right now, my greenhouse is 90 degrees. And I have one roof vent open and I have the front door wide open to let in cool air. The outside temperature currently, as I'm filming this, is 47 degrees. Now, we just got done with a bit of a cold spell over the weekend, and I think the temperatures got down at night to something like 20. And the greenhouse did get down to 20, even though I have a passive heating system. The reason I know it gets down to 20 is because when I come out here first thing in the morning to walk the dog, and if you haven't met Sophie, that's Sophie over there. So when I come out here first thing in the morning to walk the dog, and I peek through the glass and see the large thermometer in the back, and it says 20. Now, none of my plants have shown damage, and this is probably because the greenhouse is keeping a lot of that cold, damp air, frost, off of the plants. So therefore, none of the plants have shown damage, other than my peace lilies. They were extras from when I divided and replanted my wife's peace lily, which is inside the house. So they got really bit up badly, and I cut them back pretty harsh. This one still got some brown on the leaf, but the cold was enough to really affect them. They enjoy the daytime temperatures at 90, but they don't enjoy the nighttime temperatures. So that got me thinking, is there a way I can keep the greenhouse just a little bit warmer during those cold spells? Now, I do not have electricity or water coming out to the greenhouse. So I have to go get my water, and if I wanted to put an electric heater in here, I'd have to run it from the garage, which is about, it's roughly 100 feet away. So I'd have to run an extension cord from the garage, which is about 100 feet away, to the greenhouse, and then put an electric heater in here. And I could do that and have an electric heater, but it seems a bit of a bother because most of the time we don't get that cold to affect the plants that much. And anything inside, and I have various seedlings that are in various stages of growth. I have other tender plants. They've all put up with the cold fine, just again, because they haven't gotten that frost on them to damage the leaves. So today I'm going to just doing a little experiment, and we're going to set up a terracotta heater. And I just want to see if it would generate just enough heat to keep the greenhouse just warm enough. I don't want to make it 90 degrees at night, but can we bring it up to maybe above freezing or just a little above freezing and keep the greenhouse just that much warmer? Let me show you what we're going to do. You can probably see right here in front of me, I have a terracotta pot turned upside down, and I've got under that 4 more terracotta pots and a terracotta tray. Now, before we get further into this, I want to put out a full disclosure / disclaimer. This is somewhat dangerous. Now, there's been videos on YouTube, and there's been a lot of discussion on YouTube because there's quite a few people out there who use a terracotta heater to warm their homes. Now, the premise we'll get into in a second, but what can happen is that these little tea lights that people are using are made, I think, from paraffin wax. Basically, the wax is flammable. What can happen, though, is the wax in those little cups, when put together under certain circumstances, and there's a bunch of videos out there, and I will link a few of them below, will turn around spontaneously combust. And so now, instead of having a little wick, your entire little cup is now just flame, all right? And if that wax leaves that space, leaves that cup, let's say it spills or something like that, it's just going to keep spreading and burning, which is why you'll see some of these terracotta heaters out there done in an aluminum tray, or in this case, I'm going to be using this terracotta tray here, or a saucer of some sort, terracotta, or again, some other non-flammable material. And that's essentially if that does happen and be contained. I've watched a bunch of these videos, and from what I can decipher is the danger comes from the candles getting too hot and the gas is not escaping. So in a lot of these systems, they'll turn around and put a threaded rod through the hole in the bottom here. And what happens is there's nowhere for the gases coming off of those candles to escape too. So they build up inside the terracotta, which is good because it'll heat the terracotta up, and that terracotta will then radiate that heat. But it's bad because those gases are still flammable. And so eventually they fill up the container and they push their way down, and now the gases start to catch on fire. They melt the rest of the paraffin wax. It becomes a whole thing, and it can be quite dangerous. So if before you do anything like this, I suggest that you do not do it in your house at all. I suggest you don't do it near anything flammable. I'm doing it on a concrete floor, and there's space all around that nothing should catch on fire. And again, if something does spill out, theoretically, hopefully, it's all captured by this tray. So I'm going to take my precautions. The other thing I'm going to do is I'm not going to block up the drainage hole in the pot. Think of it as blocking up your chimney. When you block up your chimney, all that smoke goes up. If it can't escape, then it winds up eventually catching on fire. Bad things happen, your house burns down. So the drainage hole here is going to remain uncovered. Now this does allow some heat to escape from the pot, but that's okay. The premise though is that the tea lights will heat up the terracotta. Terracotta pot will warm up. It will radiate heat. It doesn't amplify it. It just sort of retains some of it. And thus then, instead of that heat just being shot directly up into the ceiling or away from the area, it's somewhat contained. The terracotta itself gets warm, and then it slowly releases the heat from the pot here. That's what we're going to try. We'll come out here. We'll light some candles and we'll see. Will it heat the space up at all? I don't know. So we'll be back in a few hours and check this out. I don't know if the camera's picking this up or if you guys can see that, but it's about 40 degrees in here and it's currently about 6 p.m. Let's come over here and do our thing. I'm going to use 4. And again, I've got these smaller cups to elevate the teapot and allows oxygen in, and then they will heat this up, and yeah, that's the story that I'm going with. All right, there's all 4 tea lights, and we'll just put this back up over, and there we go. So we'll come back and check on this later. Alrighty, I don't know if you guys can tell, but it's now about 30 in here. It's a little over 30. So it's just above freezing. The pot is still going. You see the light there? I feel heat coming out of the top. The pot itself is a little warm, but I can touch it without burning my hands. And I have this handy dandy heat gun. Okay, comes on. And it says it's, I don't know if that's going to show up on camera, 82. Now let's look over here. And just to give you a comparison, we're shooting the side of the box here and we're 43. Okay, so it's the next day, and if you haven't signed up for my newsletter yet, head over to growinggreenfinger.com. Scroll to the bottom of the homepage, you'll see newsletter sign up. I just need your email, and I will be sending you a once a month, end of month sort of roundup. There'll be links to all the videos we've done, and all sorts of other good stuff that I can think about squeezing into a newsletter there. Also, if you haven't checked out the links below, please check out the links below. There's all sorts of good stuff down there, and if you'd like to support the channel, check out all the affiliate links. There's no charge to you, but I do make a small commission off of anything you buy through those affiliate links. So what do I think about the pot heater there? I'm going to go with a no. A couple of reasons. One, it didn't seem to be all that efficient. Now, I have seen on YouTube where people, they stack these things and they make all sorts of crazy setups. And like I said, I would never do this kind of thing into my house. And I don't think really it's that efficient. Editing Jay here. I just actually cut out about 30 seconds to a minute of me just babbling on. But if you think I'm wrong, or if you have experience with these type of heaters, please leave a comment below and we'll talk about it. Sophie here is still in need of a haircut, so if you'd like to help support the channel and maybe Sophie's haircut, check out all those links below. Also, head over to Amazon and buy my book, Pictures from My Garden. If you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. Click the bell icon to be notified when I do post a new video, because you never know what antics I'm going to get up to next. I think on Friday I might start sowing seeds in the greenhouse. So tune in for that. And till then, I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.